Welcome, angry faithful, to the Friday what the hell political banter that we found interesting over the week. Some interesting things happened over the week. The main thing we're going to talk about real quick is the arrest of Prince Andrew. I have to say this right now that other countries, because it'll pop up like 15 different things that other countries are doing, and they're arresting people. But the United States hasn't arrested one person other than Janine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. But Andrew Mouthbitten Windsource has been released from police custody already. British authorities arrested the former prince on suspicion of misconduct in public life. The disgraced royal who was spotted departing the Stephanie Hawkins, help me out with that one.
Aylsham
Police Station in Aylsham, England, has seen an image obtained by returners. The photos show Andrew seated in the back seat of a vehicle as he left the police station. The UK's Thames Valley Police said that in February 19th statement that they arrested an unnamed man in his 60s, were carried out search at address of Norfolk and Brookshire, adding that an investigation has been opened. The Daily Telegraph newspaper reported that 6 unmarked police cars and around 8 plainclothes officers were seen arriving at Wood Farms and Stratholme Estate in Norfolk, England, where Mouthbatten Windsource recently moved. The BBC was the first to report on the development. The former prince has faced intense scrutiny over his friendship with late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Mouthbitten Windsource 66 is detained of any wrongdoing and says he regrets the friendship. Really? He has not been charged. He has not responded to requests for comment following the latest Epstein files published by the United States of America. Following along for other updates. But yeah, he was already been released. As of right now, they don't have anything that. The only thing I've gathered was miscontact and leaking information from to Epstein or any other person that was in there about financial stuff from the UK. That was it. And you're white again, Bill. You're ghostly.
Technical issues.
Yes.
Hold on, people.
But anyways, yeah, the Bill doesn't like to talk about the Epstein stuff, but you know, we get the clicks because of it. But we will talk about it from time to time. Oh yeah, we will talk about it from time to time. Bill will hate it every time because he'll go into other stuff that actually makes sense about the world. So do you want to talk about Canada? Since 4% of our demographic is Canadian.
4% of what?
Oh, our demographic that watches us. It's 4%. people 4% of our demographic that watches us is from Canada. So Canada gets the news that we report on Canada. And here's another thing that I forgot to put in the notes, and I'm sorry about that. Canada's federal government decides to flush out their local talent and just announced a new express entry for immigrant categorized of skilled military recruits into Canadian armed forces. You read that right. They want foreign nationals, Chinese soldiers, to join their ranks. The Ministry of Linda Deba, I don't know, and I don't care if I said that name right, who announced it, states this will help defend our sovereignty and can keep Canadians safe, which I think Canada only has like 50,000 troops to defend Canada. And the reason why that is because they got a bulletproof vest on. It's called the United States of fucking America. Anyways, it also to get a lot easier to use Canadian military against Canadian citizens when the soldiers aren't even Canadian. This is the national security of the United States.
You know what? I wish we could take the Golden Dome and have it set up. Now, what the intention with the Golden Dome is to actually stop a missile in its launch phase, right as it's leaving, before a hypersonic missile reaches top speed. I wish we could actually figure out the trajectory before we hit that missile. And if it's going to drop on Canada, let it fucking drop. Did we just lose 4%?
Probably. But speaking on this, the reason why I emphasized on it is another story that I found too. Just
Is it
recently,
Arnie's announcement a few days ago that he's going to cut America out of all defense spending?
no, it's even worse, Bill. It's even worse.
Is it the 300 and something people he sent to Mexico to try to screw us?
Hold on, Bill. Let me mute you so I can actually do my job. Just recently, just maybe about a couple of hours ago, 3 Chinese nationalists in Georgia tried to buy 2 kilos of uranium. And yeah, there was basically they try to buy uranium. So yeah, nothing to see here, right? We're not going against
Oh, China's innocent.
oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, why are Democrats AC at the timeline? I don't know. Why?
Why what?
Now we got this thing. Actually, why are Democrats AC all the time lying? That's a good question. Why is their AC always lying? And hey, how are you doing, AI World AI08?
Is that real?
Oh, that's
that
great.
a bot?
It's probably a bot. This is something. This is something I like doing now that I think it's a bot like this. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and boom, it's all gone. Weird.
Wait, that was 2 different ones you got rid of.
No, it was one person.
The Munich?
Yeah, Munich Maniac 9803. Guess what? I'm doing that because
Are you sure he
Shut-
was a bot?
yeah, we're going with that.
Okay. Maybe he was psychic.
No, what it is is basically they're rage baiting. Maggots are trash. Yeah, maggots are trash. But yeah, it's
What
it,
about this AI world? Hey,
yeah,
AI world, are you real?
probably not. Anyways, Bill, going against the other stuff. Uh, what else do you have on the tariffs?
Ew, the tariffs. Well,
Because I got something that just happened just recently. If you
most
bear
people
with,
don't have a clue. Most people don't have a clue what the hell a trade agreement is. Do you know what a trade agreement is? It's more than that one number that every single person out there thinks they hear that one number, so they know that's what it means. Right? One number. Oh, tariff tax, 10%. No, what is the purpose of the tariff? Trump has a purpose. Now, normally a tariff agreement, I started looking at those things in 2005. Normally a tariff agreement takes 6, 7, 8 years. It's between two countries, say us and I think South Korea took 8 or 9 years.
okay,
Because what happens is we say, okay, we want our businesses here to be able to trade over there. So we'll put percentages, quotas, different fees, and that goes to their parliament or their whatever political system. They make changes. It goes back here. Our Congress reviews it, makes changes. It'll bounce back and forth like that for fucking 8, 6, 7, 8 years. It can bounce back and forth. Then when both sides agree, they actually sign it. So a tariff doesn't really have any power to change behavior. Right? Doesn't have any power to change behavior. Well, Europe is excited now because just one example, they have something that just started January 1st. I mentioned it here before, carbon border adjustment mechanism. Now imagine taking every product that you're going to trade with Europe, and let's say this product is made from components in several different states. You got to look at each one of those components, and you got to look at the carbon footprint of each of those components. Then you got to look at the carbon footprint of your factory that's putting it together to manufacture it. You got to put all those together with certifications to meet their criteria for a carbon border adjustment mechanism. So any product that qualifies for it, they've been working on it for a couple of years. They just enacted it January 1st. Trump is trying to, or was trying to get it to where that does not apply to American products. Well, people are like, oh, tariff, 10% tariff. What the hell is the fee going to be with our companies going through the expense of calculating their little shit, then them applying that on how much carbon is emitted in producing this product? He was trying to get rid of it. So if he puts a 10% tariff on it, that shit's going to cost more than 10%.
yeah.
Ours
Well,
will go up. They'll blame his tariff.
Well, here's the new development that you missed apparently, Bill, and this is coming from the White House X page.
Protect, and it says so. In order to protect, and it says so. In order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past period of a year under the various tariff authorities. So we can use other of the statutes, other of the tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And I say quite simply, which I've said for a long time, make America great again. And interestingly, we've already made it great, so I don't have to use that, but I don't think we'll ever give up on MAGA. MAGA is always going to be with us.
So, yeah.
I saw that live, and then I saw Scott Bessent a little while ago. He was on Will Kane's program discussing it. He cannot charge one dime of an individual tariff or fee. He can institute a fee, hold on, let me get the exact the exact term. A licensing fee. He can enact that, but can't collect anything from it. He can put out a regulation, but can't collect any money from it. These other methods that he's going to be using, they take, generally they can take up to a year to actually go through the system. So there is a system. Now, there is a mechanism where it has to be investigated, and Lutnick would be in charge of the investigation. But then there's a lot of different, he can't do it fast. He can't go, okay, I want you to do this. Now I'm doing this. And then a week later, the country backs down and goes, okay, he can't do that. And they know he can't do that. So there's a lot of technicalities in these other ones. He was using the IEPA.
Well, this is also
the
from
232 still, the 232 tariffs still remain. This doesn't affect those. They're there. But he can't use them as a bargaining chip to alter. Like he goes in and he puts a tariff on a product in China. So let's just throw out numbers. Say he puts a 50% tariff on products in China. He has a 20% on the products in Vietnam. He can go, well, let's go with a 20% on each one. He can go, we'll raise it on China, but we'll drop it on Vietnam. What happens? The company in China moves out of Vietnam, which is the whole point, is to get us not beholden to China and get us doing business elsewhere. So the business in China moves to Vietnam. He lowers the tariff. Turns out Vietnam has a lower labor rate than China. So not only are they paying less in tariffs, but they're making more because they're paying lower labor.
Yeah.
So Trump's tariff that he's collecting is basically the difference in the profit from that they're saving in the cost of labor. So what does that do? Our product goes up zero. So when they say, oh, it's a tax, no, it changed the supply chain, which was the purpose.
Yeah.
A tax, people aren't paying attention to non-tariff trade barriers. Anytime a trade deal is made, you should go, what are the non-tariff trade barriers that were addressed? The quickest example I can use on that is the VAT tax. Now, this is one he had worked with. I don't know. It's just an example. Europe has a 15% VAT tax, value-added tax. It's another reason why Europe isn't all candy canes and crap, because they're taxed out the ass. But they levy that on us too. So our products have to pay that. Now, what happens if he puts a 10% tariff? Oh, I'm putting this 10% tariff on. You need to, and I'm putting this on this other stuff. You need to get rid of that VAT tax. So they get rid of the VAT tax. What's that? Leaves our 10%, but it got rid of 15, and everyone over here, the liberals, are like, oh, tax, you've taxed Americans 10%. No, you just got rid of 15. But they're not looking at that. And the carbon border adjustment mechanism is a tax. Now, what did we just do with India? You know what we did? We did a great deal with India. I may have mentioned it last week because I had seen Modi make a comment about it. And what we did on India is we had a high tariff. We lowered it. Why? Oh, because he's taco. No, because we got what we wanted. Right now from India, with our products from our companies that are sold to India, there's a lot of them. We have to go through a licensing certification process with them. So the company spends a damn fortune creating the initial license. Then we have to pay people from India to come over and verify the license. Then every few months, they have to do it again. They have to recertify before they'll let us sell our product in India. So what happens? The companies over here are spending all this damn money to produce the product. So does it make it cost more to India? Yeah. Does it make it cost more to Americans? Yes.
Yeah.
Because the company had to go through this shit. What he did in the India deal is he got rid of all of those. Now, of course, it's not a drop right away because some companies have already spent the money right now for the initial certification. Some are in the middle of their re-up on the certification, but they're being phased out. The problem is they're being phased out. All this stuff doesn't work like a light switch. So it's going to be phased out over a year. By then, if Democrats take over, they'll take the credit for it. Oh, look, the cost of these stuff went down from India because we did. Well, what did you do? Well, we stopped Trump. No, you didn't do a fucking thing. That's what he does. What he puts in place now goes into effect 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And it's those things that no one is looking for. Every time he does a trade deal, don't look at the one number like you freaking idiots out there. Look at just the one number. Look at non-tariff trade barriers. He mentions it. The media doesn't get into it. Why? Because it's complicated. How could you go in to and make good sense of what just went on with the India trade deal in a 3-minute segment that people would be interested in and not just gloss over? You can't, and that's the problem. Liberals, Democrats, they work on bumper sticker slogans. They don't work on information.
Yeah, because that's
They
what.
don't care. If you ask them what they'll do, they'll just pop out with the other bumper sticker slogan, and the treasonous progressive media will just fly with it.
Well, this is what the Secretary of Treasury says about all this. Since you didn't give me a chance to finish up my stuff.
I would also like to take a moment to address today's Supreme Court ruling, and I would note that I did not change a single word in my speech post the ruling. President Trump will always put our national security and Americans first. And as I have said before, the president has multiple tools in his toolbox. Let's be clear about what today's ruling was and what it wasn't. Despite the misplaced gloating from Democrats, ill-informed media outlets, and the very people who gutted our industrial base, the court did not rule against President Trump's tariffs. 6 justices simply ruled that IEEPA authorities cannot be used to raise even $1 of revenue. This administration will invoke alternative legal authorities to replace the IEEPA tariffs. We will be leveraging Section 232 and Section 301 tariff authorities that have been validated through thousands of legal challenges. Treasury's estimates show that the use of Section 122 authority, combined with potentially enhanced Section 232 and Section 301 tariffs, will result in virtually unchanged tariff revenue in 2026. And with
So yeah,
There's still a lot of technicalities with that because, like they said, it can't raise a dime. He can put a licensing fee, and he can't collect a fee. So no one has seen yet. And what was really shitty about the Supreme Court is they made the decision, they made the statement, but they differed on why. They didn't have an agreement of why they needed to make that decision. It was all different. So multiple bit different. The ones who it passed had multiple different decisions on why. Normally, they would agree at least somewhat on why they're making this decision. They didn't. And now, of course, Canada's going to gloat. Carney was sent over 300 different business representatives down to Mexico to try to cut us out. And then, but he tried to create a coalition of countries to work specifically against us. Now, I followed up on that, and I don't think it worked. Mexico backed off and said, we're not going to go against DC. But other countries were interested. And now there isn't anything. Yeah, he can do some things, but they're not quick like the IEPA was. So he can do things, but it's slow. So what's going to happen when Kuzma is up for renegotiation in June, July? Oh, I'm sure Carney's backflipping. I haven't looked yet. He's the next one I'll probably look at tonight and see what he's saying.
Okay. So, okay. The next thing we got done with Carney, the tariffs, Prince Andrews, data centers. Oh, also we also got rid of the China trying to buy uranium, but data center.
Oh yeah, the Carney had one more aspect to it.
Okay.
He had been working with Murkowski on creating a consulate, a Canadian consulate in Alaska, in a couple other locations, and in Greenland. So he creates a consulate in Greenland, and then he's been working on an agreement to defend Greenland against the U.S. Murkowski's been behind him every step of the way. So looking at the dates, February 6th, they opened a consulate in Nuuk, Greenland. Okay, they opened the consulate. February 7th, the next day, Murkowski shows up. Then in Munich, on the 13th, he signed a memorandum of understanding. It was between Canada and Denmark that Canada stands behind and would support Article 5 NATO if Trump did anything with Canada, with Greenland. So he can't even negotiate with them now. So if we want to, we're spending over $300 million to expand the base up there. If we want to do any expansion, not only was it going to be a trilateral between us, Greenland, and Denmark, now in that memorandum of understanding, Canada's tied into it. So if we want to do anything, if we want to put an outpost, we want to put a missile defense system, not only do we have to work with Greenland, Denmark, now we have to work with Carney. And she was behind him in Munich when he signed this damn thing. She is a fucking traitor, needs to be out of there. Definitely needs to be out of the Republican Party. She doesn't need to be privy to any committees, anything the Republicans say. She needs to be gone, pulled from everything. And I think there's been some comments that Trump thinks she's a traitor too. Now, this understanding, what else it does is Greenland has wanted independence from Denmark. Carney just blew up their dream of independence. We were going to give them that. Trump wasn't working to take Greenland. Trump was working for a COFA. It's an agreement that would basically allow Greenland to become independent. We would take over, helping their growth, helping their economy. They wouldn't be relying on Denmark, and they would be completely sovereign. But what Carney did in that MOA is it undermined that. And now they're tied in with Canada making decisions also. Now, the opposition leader wants this in Greenland, wants to deal with just the US. Now that makes that almost impossible for him to try to work with them on the COFA to get their independence. He's trying. He's still going to try. I followed up and looked in the last week. He's still trying to get people behind it, but he has the same type of media propaganda to deal with that we have here and that Germany's brainwashed with.
Mhm.
So he can't get the word out of what he's trying to do and what it means for the Greenland people. It's not evil America taking over. It's evil America giving them their sovereignty while still allowing us to have our bases over there. They
Yeah.
spent they spent 3 years on a maintenance contract. So don't say that oh, we can do anything we want over there because we've got this other agreements. No, after the amendments to the other agreements, it took 3 years for a maintenance contract. What do you think it's going to take to? We need to add another base. We need to expand this base. We need to add a radar outpost over there. We need to add missile defenses over there. What do you think? Oh, wait a minute. Let's have an environmental study on that first. And let's get with Canada for them to approve that environmental study. And no, we can't. We're looking at other ways to do the Golden Dome, but some of them are going to triple the cost. It's
Mhm.
like under the GUK, the Greenland, Iceland, UK gap that's between Greenland and the UK, that 95% of our internet communications cables run through. We need to protect that. The Russia tested the Poseidon, a nuclear-powered torpedo. They can launch that thing. It can just sit around going under the water till they have a target they want it to hit. That thing is going to go live 2027. They expect to put it in actual service. And we got two ways. We could put sensors off of Greenland's coast and detect it and then assist them to destroy it, or we can float sensors around the ocean. That's going to cost 3 times as much to do that
Mm.
and not be as accurate. Now they're working on Elon's working on the part of the satellite system to do the detection that we can't do without other locations in Greenland. But they're not going to be as precise as if we had control of putting bases and sensors in Greenland.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at. So basically Murkowski fucked us.
Yeah. Okay, Bill. Last one. Data centers. Now I know we're getting a data center. Abilene's getting a data center. The biggest problem that I know, because I watched like a little newsreel about it, about Abilene having a problem having a data center right there, is the fact that the jobs that it's going to create, they don't have houses for.
So in our data center, they went to Abilene to check that out, to see the problem with the housing. So in Clay County, they are setting up basically a barracks style city in itself. They're setting that up right now. And
Okay.
it's going to be self-contained. It's going to have its own medical. It's going to have its own emergency. And it's going to house 2,000 people. So the people who say, oh, our housing rates are going to go up and we're going to have all this traffic. Well, the data center is on the outside of town. Sure, you might have some people who want to bring their family and move here. However, whoever wants to actually move here. But as far as the traffic and the housing problem they had in Abilene, they had 6,000 people and they just all of a sudden went, okay, let's build this. Boom. They had no pre-planning for housing. We went down there. We saw what was going on. We are getting ready for it.
Okay. Next what?
Oh, they're going to suck our lakes dry. Oh, what are you going to do? Our water bill's going to go up. They bring up, look what's happened in this city. Look what's happened in that city. Yeah, those cities are based on 10-year-old technology in their data centers, or even worse, data mining, not AI data centers, the Bitcoin mining. They're really horrendously loud. They use just rows of mechanical fans. What will the data center they just announced a couple of days ago? Just focus on that one, not the other one. The amount of water, it is self-contained. You see my computer down here?
Mhm.
My computer down here is water cooled. Do I have to add water to it? How often do you add water to your radiator? It's a closed loop system. The one they're installing will take about 550 to 600,000 gallons of water. How much is that? An Olympic-sized swimming pool is 660,000 gallons of water. That's for the initial fill. That's not a continuous usage. After that, it'll use about as much water as 4 or 5 houses. Just you stand like office water. But for the cooling itself, it's self-contained. And I did research because I was kind of worried about, it's a water system. What if it leaks? Is it going to fry my computer? And yeah, it should be okay for
That's what we're going to get into right now. Bill, just go ahead and for the power, this is one thing. This is one of the smaller ones that they're producing for the power. They're making smaller, and this fits on the back end of a semi. And this is a power plant right here. Right. And it's not letting me. Why is it not showing? There we go. All right. Basically, this fits on the back end of a semi truck, and it's a new nuclear power. This is a nuclear power plant, but it's miniaturized. What they're doing is they're setting this up to offset the amount of money we're gonna have to spend for the power for those data centers. And also another thing, God, I watched the video. I had it set up.
I can go into that.
So, hold on. There's also rotary, I think it's called. God, I'll get it next week, I promise. But it's like it hooks up to the power, and they were using these for another thing that drains a lot of power too, is forklifts for like shipping. The shipping container forklift that moves shipping containers, they draw on a lot of power, and they put this device that I think it's centrifuge, but it creates enough power to where it offsets the power supply that are supposed to go in. Because whenever you start using the forklift to move the crane, move the cranes that use to move the cargo, it draws in a lot of power when they start using. Well, they use these centrifuges that actually doesn't take, once it starts. I'm trying to figure out what I remember. Once it starts going, it takes less power to keep it going, and it actually
Centrifugal force.
That's it. Centrifugal force things. They've used them like in UK and other places for the docks to do that. But yeah, that's another thing that's being used to help out with the power draw. But go ahead, Bill. What were you talking about?
Okay, I see that's micronuclear. There's small modular reactors and micro reactors that are even smaller, and they can easily they're assembled in one location, and then they can just be shipped and installed quickly. Now, as far as Wichita Falls, they have been strengthening the grid, and nothing to do with data centers and our expense. A few years ago, is it two years ago now, 2.5? We voted on improving our grid. They're spending a lot of money now, not because of the data centers. They've already been spending it. We've got 2 substations in Wichita Falls that are low on usage. They're underused. 2 substations. They're 100 feet from these data centers. So they're not going to be long runs. It's not going to be frying everyone's. The EM that it puts out is less than a microwave if you're near it. So they're 100 feet away. We've got a lot of wind energy coming in through
Yeah,
there.
that's from
Because it's expensive to have the dual infrastructure for wind, and we've got it. The data centers are going to be putting in massive batteries. So when it's overproducing, they're going to be storing it. And instead of us having blackouts and brownouts and all that, they'll be using their battery. And then as far as cost, Abbott, I think it was a month or 2 ago, signed something where any data center coming into Texas has to create a fund of so many $1 million per megawatt or something that they're expected to use. And in that fund, it covers price spikes. If they have to increase usage for something and it's going to raise your electric bill, it'll come from that fund to cover the price spikes.
Oh, no.
Then you said the micro reactors. In Haskell County, it's 2028 or 9. Things bounce back and forth. The big data center in Abilene, which is the prime first data center for Stargate.
Okay.
Out of the 20 data centers, they're going to be needed to run the Golden Dome. And it's not the whole data center running it. We have a kind of a segregated slice of it that we'll be using our own algorithms in. So it's going to be isolated from the rest of whatever we use. But in Haskell County, for that, they're going to be installing 30 micro reactors. It will have its own power source.
Oh, yeah.
And Haskell County is about an hour and a half away. And if we had some kind of problem, they can feed the power back in toward us. And it won't surprise me if they don't, as far as they're trying to make everything secure. And I don't know if you saw it about Hegseth came out and showed a picture of a reactor that they're flying somewhere to test. It wouldn't surprise me if military bases don't, like ours being a former SAC base, one of the longest runways in the country. Ours is strategically very important. So it wouldn't be surprising if they don't put a micro reactor or a small modular reactor larger than a micro reactor here.
Yeah. But anyways, Bill, that is about it for this week. We're going to do it a little bit shorter this week. Sorry, everybody, if you actually like listening to us. We have it's fun to do this, especially if what y'all don't see is like before the show, Bill goes all irate, and I have to calm him down and tell him wait for the show. But hey, everybody, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching.
Did I wait enough today? Did I have enough energy today?
Yes, you had enough energy this time.
I really wanted to eat.
Yes, because you literally didn't waste any of the energy beforehand. See what I was telling you? I was like, use the energy for the show, and you finally did. And thank you.
Well, I went onto Facebook and I answered some more of the dumb shit bastards from Wichita Falls on there. If you look at any Wichita Falls group, the city of Wichita Falls, they're all putting data centers up, and everyone is doing the same thing. Oh, they're going to suck our lakes dry, don't they know? Yeah. And any of the propaganda posters, any of the information they're using is on several-year-old data centers.
Next week, we will get into Texas races. I didn't want to do it on this one. Railroad Commission. That's one we were going to look up. I've been watching this guy. I've been following this guy, and he makes a lot of sense. Picking him for the Railroad Commission.
Have you voted yet?
No, I didn't go to the early voting. I'm going to do that on Monday. But
Sadly, I don't have a read on the person running for Senate on which one I would choose.
Wes, I would choose Wes. I don't like, and we'll get into that. We're cutting the show. We'll get into that next week. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm David Dickerman.
And I'm Wild William.
And
apologies to our Canadian viewers, but I love Canada, but Carney sucks and he can bite it.
all right, everybody. Thank you all. Love you. Goodbye.